Fala galera, eu sou Igor Miranda e o papo da vez é com Michael Sweet em uma entrevista só de áudio a pedido dele próprio. A banda dele, o STRYPER, lançou no fim de 2022 um novo álbum chamado The Final Battle. Apesar do Final, não tem nada de despedida nesse disco, que inclusive é um dos mais pesados da carreira deles. Falamos bastante sobre esse novo trabalho, mas não só sobre isso, abordamos vários outros assuntos aí. Um deles, é claro, religião, né, um assunto que não pode faltar, já que o STRYPER é um dos maiores representantes do chamado white metal. Falamos sobre produtividade, né, a produtividade do Michael, que é assombrosa. Ele lança pelo menos um disco todo ano, muitas vezes até 2 discos no mesmo ano, se você considerar STRYPER e os outros projetos dele. Abordamos também os 40 anos de STRYPER, os 30 anos do fim da banda, que acabou no início da década de 90, e sobre os 20 anos da volta também, já que eles retornaram no início dos anos 2000. Todos esses elementos aí sendo celebrados ou não, mas definitivamente marcados em 2023, entre outros assuntos aí que foram abordados. Se liga!
Nice to meet you.
Hi Michael, nice to meet you too. Igor Miranda from Brazil. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I apologize for only being able to do audio today because we have movers here at our house and it's chaotic. So anyway, I'm just audio only. I hope that's okay.
No problem, no problem. Your voice is the most important thing here. So thank you for your time and congratulations on the new album, The Final Battle.
Thank you so much. We're very excited about it.
Good.
And very happy with the outcome.
I was going to ask you, how do you feel about this record right now? More than a month after its release, I guess.
I'm very happy with the release and so far the response. I mean, you know, it's one of those situations where you're never going to please everybody. You know, I see the people that really love the record, and then I see the people that don't seem to like it as much as expected. And I think that's because of the fact that we try different things. We experiment with each album. This album we did the very same on. We tried some different things. It's a little heavier. Some of the songs are a little more modern. And, you know, I think people, the diehard fans, want us to return back to the To Hell with the Devil sound, you know, and In God We Trust and Soldiers Under Command. And I understand that, but, you know, people have to realize that, you know, we're 30 years older, 35 years older. So we're not the same people. We do things differently now in all ways of our lives. So it's important for people to realize that, but I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I put it in the car, I crank it up, and I smile.
Good to know, good to know. Well, and when I listened to the new album for the first time, I was impressed by the fact that you guys are sounding heavy, but not heavy like 80s heavy. You managed to put STRYPER in 2022, musically wise, in a way that we do not see very often with other 80s hard rock and heavy metal bands. Do you agree with that point of view?
I do, and that's what I was trying to explain a few moments ago. We're always trying, me speaking for myself as a songwriter and producer, I'm always trying to reinvent the wheel, you know, but at the same time stay true to who we are. You know, it's important that we retain our sound and what people expect to hear from us, but we can't keep making the same album over and over again that sounds like 1986. You know, that just wouldn't be good. It's important to try to branch out and modernize the band a little bit without sounding like a modern rock band. We're not a modern rock band. But I think we've found a way to do that, and we do it fairly well, where we can merge the two, you know, the old with the new. And I think we've got a pretty good handle on that. And like I said, though, some fans, those diehard fans that expect to hear Calling on You again, may not be 100% happy with the results.
Yeah, and excuse me, you can. You were going to say something?
Oh, no, that was it.
No problem. Well, but at the same time, you guys face some challenging times because of Ozfok's ongoing battle with brain tumors, and for you, a detached Retina
retina. Sorry, I don't know the exact pronunciation. It's retina, right?
Yes, my retina detached twice.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how did these health problems influence this album, whether in the lyrics, in the music, or even in the recording process?
Well, I mean, you know, obviously it played a part in the process of the album. It slowed us down a little bit, but all things considered, not so much so that we couldn't get it done. You know, we were able to go in the studio and stay on schedule. Now, barely. I mean, with my eye situation, when my retina detached and I had to have emergency surgery, I had to lay down for 2 weeks face down and shower face down, eat face down, sleep face down. I couldn't lift my head up. That was very important. So that changed the schedule quite a bit, you know, and had to really get creative with how I was writing the album and getting ready to record the album. And then once I set up, I thought, okay, that's over with. My eye detached again. And I had to do it all over again. And that was really deflating. That knocked the wind right out of my sails, you know? And I felt like, okay, how's this going to happen? And miraculously, it did. I was able to, right when I set up again after the second surgery, I was able to go in the studio literally to the day and start recording. So we didn't have to change the schedule or postpone the album, thank God. So I'm very happy about that. But while we were in the studio, we were a little slower, you know, taking things a little easier and not so, come on, we got to go. We got to get this done. It was more of us just say, okay, let's chill. It's all good. We'll get it done. You know, we kind of took our time a little bit more.
Yes. And is everything all right with you and us right now?
Everything is good right now. Yeah. I mean, I mean, I'm knocking on, I don't have any wood to knock on. I'm knocking on a counter. But yes, everything is good. But, you know, I never, ever want to take that for granted because, you know, we could wake up tomorrow and things change. I think that applies to anybody as we get older. You know, things unexpectedly happen. And we're just kind of taking the good with the bad, and we're still able to do what we do, and we're very grateful for that.
Thank God you guys are fine now. But back to the album, I read you saying in a recent interview that you write the albums 2 weeks before you start recording, one song a day. I was impressed because I don't know if I understand it right, but you have absolutely nothing written until 2 weeks before you start recording. Could you please tell us a little more about your songwriting process?
Well, I like doing it like that. Some people don't understand it, and some people disagree with it, but it's very unorthodox, but it's the way I like to write. The reason why is I feel that I do better under pressure. When I'm under pressure, I can focus more, and I can really hone in on what I need to do to get the job done. When I'm not under pressure, I can't focus as much. So when I'm told, hey, you got 2 weeks, go write the album, I can focus 2 weeks every day, every hour, every minute until it's done. And that's the way my brain works, you know? So that's why I like to do it. I work well under pressure, better under pressure, and it always gets done. I mean, you're talking about, if you go back to Reborn, from Reborn on, that's how I've written every single album. A song a day, and until there's 11 songs or 12 songs, and that's just the way I write.
It's impressive. And how did your songwriting process mature throughout your career to the point where you create all the material in such a short time?
Well, I'm very blessed that that well has not dried up, and there's still water in the well. I'm able to sit down and start creating or crafting a song, and it just starts to flow, and I'm very grateful for that. I think that's a gift God has given me, maybe my strongest gift. You know, I look at myself as a mediocre singer and a mediocre guitar player, but I think I'm a good songwriter, and I feel like that's my really my true gift in life, is to write songs.
Yes. And now talking about the cover art from the new album, you guys have a very well-defined style with these arts. If you remove the logo from your covers, you can still say that's a STRYPER album. It's amazing. And this time you guys put some references to the classic To Hell with the Devil album cover. How did you guys develop the idea for this new art?
Well, I mean, that was definitely the point, was to do a throwback that was reminiscent of To Hell with the Devil. You know, and you can put the two albums side by side and you can clearly see that. And really what the image is trying to say and portraying is God's return, you know, for the Battle of Armageddon. If you believe in the Bible, this is very clear in the Bible. And that's what we wanted to show, that being the final battle, you know, and that's what that represents. Some people thought that we were trying to imply that it's our final album. And, you know, my answer to that is that wasn't the implication, but it certainly could be. And what I mean by that is we don't know what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow is not a promise. And we may not be able to do another album at any given time. So it certainly could be our last album, but it's not planned to be our final album.
Yes. And now about all of your projects, I don't know if I did the math right, but in the last 17 years, you have released 18 studio albums. I'm not counting Reborn Again, as it was recorded a little before, but here we have 9 albums with STRYPER, 5 albums from your solo career, and some albums with Sweden Linked, some Bomb, Iconic recently. How do you keep yourself motivated to release studio albums in a period where bands of your generation don't release albums, or at most they release isolated singles or EPs?
Well, I mean, I'm very motivated to do music still. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. I'm excited about it. So if I could, I would literally be in the studio every day and writing a song every day and recording a song every day. And if you do the math on that, you know, it might not be 365 days out of the year because of all the other things that go into recording a song time-wise, but it might be, I might be able to churn out, you know, 100 recorded songs or more a year. And that would be pretty impressive. But I would love to do that. That would excite me. And I think that's the key, is being passionate about what you do. I think a lot of bands and members of bands have lost that passion for writing new music and releasing new music. They're burnt out, or they don't see the need to do it, or the desire to do it. I couldn't disagree more. I think, you know, our best is yet to come. Yours, mine. It doesn't matter what age you are. You know, as you grow older, you grow wiser and hopefully better. Maybe a little slower, but it doesn't keep you from doing your best or trying to achieve your best. So that's always my attitude in life.
Absolutely. And speaking of motivation, but in another sense, I see a lot of people ask you in interviews about the occasional rejection that STRYPER faces for bringing a Christian message in the lyrics. Sometimes there is a lot of talk about the bad side of things, which is natural, unfortunately. But I've always wondered if you ever motivated atheists or not so religious people to pay attention to the word of God, as if you converted these people. Has this ever happened? Have you ever heard of anyone becoming religious because of STRYPER?
Oh yeah, I mean, it happens all the time. Many times, almost on a daily basis. I mean, I'm Facebook and instant messenger and you know, emails and text messages, people reaching out to me saying, you know, your song changed my life, made me believe in God. And then on the other side of that coin, there's a lot of people that reach out to me who are atheists and Satanists, who are big fans of the band. You know, they love the music, they love the band, but they don't believe what we believe, but they're still really encouraged and influenced and inspired by the band. And that's really amazing. You know, it always kind of blows my mind because a lot of people want to take a swipe at STRYPER because of our lyrics. But, you know, when you really sit down and you break down some of these other lyrics from some of these other metal bands, I'm proud to say that we sing about God. And I'm proud of our lyrics because some of those lyrics are just downright silly. You really break it down that way. If you want to break it down lyrically, read some of those lyrics. Just sit and read them like a book, and you'll get a big kick out of that because they're pretty silly.
I agree with you. Well, and correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think next year marks the 40th anniversary of STRYPER's foundation. I would like to know if you have any plans to celebrate this, be it a special tour, a specific release, or anything different for the fans.
Well, there's no special plans right now, but we are planning on finishing up our documentary, spending a lot of time doing that, and that's definitely planned out. And we're going to be touring a lot, you know, in celebration of that. Lots of touring. No plans for a new STRYPER album. I'm working on some other albums on my own and releasing a few albums next year. Sweet and Lynch 3 being one of them, and another project I'm working on, and a solo album. So I've got a lot of stuff going on with that. But STRYPER will certainly celebrate its 40-year anniversary. I mean, technically it's next year, but if you go by album releases, it's 2024.
Yes.
But yes, we're gonna definitely celebrate, very, very much so, for sure.
Since you mentioned touring, I have to ask you about Brazil. Are there any plans to come back with the new tour?
Well, we would love to come back, but the problem is we don't have any fans in Brazil.
Don't say it.
No, yeah, of course. We have some great, amazing fans in Brazil. It breaks my heart that we're not able to come back every year and perform, or even every other year. You know, it's difficult because of the logistics and the finances. You know, it's very, very costly right now to travel. Just here in the United States, it's very costly. But to go overseas internationally, it's very hard for any band. I don't care who you are. So it makes it more and more difficult for us to go to these countries that we long to go to. But we're working on it, and we plan to come back and do a South American tour, of course, including Brazil, and hopefully hitting, you know, 4 or 5 cities in Brazil would be incredible.
Amazing. Well, we don't have much time, but I have a last question. Since I went back to the foundation of STRYPER, I would like to ask you about next year also will be 30 years since STRYPER came to an end and 20 years since you reunited. Looking back, how important was the 10-year split for the band to continue to exist today?
Oh my gosh, I think it was very important. You know, I got a bad rap for that because I was the guy that left the band back in 1992. And a lot of fans were angry at me. I've had them come up to me and face to face tell me, I was angry at you. I hated you for years, because they felt like I was the reason why STRYPER disbanded. But, you know, they don't know the details. And when I explain the details to them, they understand and they get it. And then they tell me they would have done the same thing. So it was something I had to do because my priority list was all out of whack. And I was putting the band above my family and above my faith. So I had to leave the band. And once I left the band, I think it was the best thing I could have done. And then eventually the best thing for the guys, all in all, as well. So I think now that we're back together, and we've been back together for, as you said, 20 years, or almost 20 years, it's really amazing. Because, you know, I feel like we're stronger now than we've ever been. We're better now than we've ever been as people. And I think it was really miraculous for us to break up and get back together later on in life. It was the best thing we could have done.
Amazing. Well, Michael, I think that's it. Thank you so much. I wish you the best and hope to see you soon here in Brazil.
Okay, my friend. God bless you. Take care. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you soon.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.